People who dedicate their lives to helping victims of human trafficking and exploitation say it is no doubt demanding work. And now their mission has become even more difficult as misconceptions grow about what these crimes look like and who they impact. News Nation's Juliana Bruno explains.
Human trafficking, an issue many people hear about through real news stories that take the national spotlight.
Jeffrey Epstein
recruiting a network of dozens of teen girls
as young as 14 years old.
Or even online rumors, with the recent prevalence of QAnon, an unnamed, somewhat elusive internet presence whose followers have developed a passion for the topic of child sex trafficking.
Satanic cults, cannibalism, and a network of celebrities supposedly running a child sex trafficking network.
While there are the big stories that take the headlines and internet conspiracy theories of celebrities involved in a global faction of pedophiles, local support agencies like the Albany County Safe Harbor program say there are real examples of trafficking in our neighborhoods.
We see it here in the Capital Region in gangs. We also see parents trafficking their own children to feed a drug habit or to pay their bills. So it really does take on a lot of forms and can happen anywhere at any time.
Nicole Consiglio, Safe Harbor coordinator, says both unproven conspiracies as well as large-scale Hollywood crimes can make parents unsuspecting of the commonplace dangers posed by traffickers.
It is these big groups like Jeffrey Epstein or, happening in large cities where in reality it can happen to anyone at any time. So we don't want that message to be lost in these stories that are out there to really pull away and draw attention from what's really going on here.
QAnon dates back to 2017. The anonymous online poster shares claims about a ring of power players that control Hollywood, and they set their sights on different celebrities. One viral theory suggested Oprah Winfrey was arrested for involvement in a sex trafficking ring, a theory Winfrey was forced to debunk back in March.
What we see a lot is these stories that have some shock value to them. They're the celebrity stories. People click on the headlines, these disturbing imagery. It gets people emotionally charged.
Consiglio says having an emotional reaction isn't a bad thing, but when it's in response to false claims or conspiracies, it impacts the ability of agencies to effectively respond to victims and help them transition out of their abusive situation. Megan Cutter is the director of the National Human Trafficking Hotline.
What we've seen, unfortunately, is an increase in reports that are about viral information that someone has seen on social media or even on the news, and people are reporting it without having any connection to that situation.
She agrees that not everyone who calls has bad intentions, but the misinformation places stress on their hotline and the people in need who are choosing whether or not to pick up the phone and dial.
The biggest thing that we're worried about is the impact that misinformation and viral content could have on victims and survivors who are trying to reach out for help.
Rachel Lloyd, a survivor of commercial sexual exploitation, deals directly with the survivors who may be on the other end of those hotlines. She says viral theories and misconceptions date back before QAnon's existence.
The anti-trafficking movement for years had done a disservice to real victims and survivors by not putting the real stories and the real faces and the real issues at the forefront and allowing it to be reduced to this most basic and sensational level.
Photos circulating social media showing children with duct tape mouths and girls in cages perpetuates stereotypes about trafficking and can be confusing to victims whose experiences look different.
And it takes the focus off real survivors and puts it on like this crazy idea of who's involved and who's to blame. And I mean, it's just gotten so toxic.
Lloyd is the founder of GEMS, an organization that wants to end the commercial sexual exploitation and trafficking of children and young women. And her work on the Safe Harbor Act to protect victims of exploited youth is where groups like Albany County Safe Harbor come from. So while these organizations and survivors combat misinformation and advocate for victims, they say you play a role that starts when you open up an internet browser or a social media app.
We need to make sure that people research what they read. Don't just take a meme or a picture and let that dictate your feelings towards it. Do your research.
If you want to go a step further after doing your research, the Polaris Project, which runs the human trafficking hotline, has compiled a list of resources and ways you can help victims of human trafficking. It's on their website at polarisproject.org. Juliana Bruno, News Nation, Albany.